The 2022 Harley-Davidson Sportster S arrives at a time when the iconic Milwaukee brand is straying further from its traditional path than ever before. After years of declining sales, the motor company decided it needed to change things up, and the 2022 Harley-Davidson Sportster S and its Revolution Max engine were part of the new plan. But unlike HD's other new radical models, the Pan America and the Livewire, the Sportster S isn't a totally new creation. It is a continuation of the popular Sportster line of bikes and maintains plenty of rebellious Harley spurt. That said, it plays a very different tune to its predecessors and it's unlike any Harley before it. So does it hit the right notes? Let's take a closer look. Before we continue, a quick history lesson. The Sportster moniker dates back to 1957 when the original XL model was released. That bike evolved from the Model K series of bikes. All Sportster models since have been given the XL designation. In 1986, a new engine platform dubbed Evolution was introduced for the Sportster line, replacing the original Ironhead powerplant. The Evolution received many updates over the years, but the platform more or less remained in place until the Revolution Max arrived in 2021. The Sportster S effectively continues the Sportster line and replaces outgoing models like the 48 Iron 883 and Iron 1200, but it is a big departure from the traditional XL format. Some have compared the new bike to the old V-Rod, albeit with more sporty performance. Along with the Pan America, the Livewire and the new Nightster, the Sportster S represents a time of significant change for HD. Its traditional V-twin cruisers and tourers are still there, but these new machines are an attempt to capture new markets. Time will tell if the gamble pays off. The Sportster S is powered by HD's Revolution Max powerplant, which debuted in the Pan America and also features in the new Nightster. In Sportster guise, the 1252cc liquid-cooled 60-degree V-twin puts out 90 kilowatts and 127 Newton-meters. While the power output is lower than the Pan America, both peak figures arrive earlier in the rev range. Power is delivered to the rear wheel via 6-speed transmission, wet multi-plate slip assist clutch and a belt with an 80/34 ratio. The bike also features electronic sequential port fuel injection. Suspension is handled by a 43mm Showa inverted fork and a Showa linkage-mounted piggyback shock. Both feature compression rebound and spring adjustment. And the Sportster is also fitted with Harley-branded Dunlop GT 503 hoops front and rear. Other key stats include a rider-friendly seat height of 755mm, a 14-liter fuel tank, 90mm of ground clearance, a 228 kg dry weight and of course the $26,995 right-away price tag. Straight off the bat, the Sportster S looks the business. It adopts styling cues from dragsters' flat trackers and bobbers, and looks both menacing and classy at the same time. It certainly stands out and will turn more than a few heads on the road. Hopping aboard felt a little alien to me, however, and I imagine other riders will feel the same. The reason is because of the strange ergonomics. The foot pegs are forward mounted, but the bar also requires you to reach forward. Luckily, the bike is otherwise pretty comfy with a plush seat and a user-friendly 755mm seat height. On the road, the first thing that springs to mind is how good the engine is. It offers a lot of punch in the Sportster format and will beat most vehicles off the line. What's more, the Sportster presents plenty of torque right through the rev range, meaning you're never left wanting more. But this is a very different beast to other HD models. Like the Pan America, the inclusion of the new RevMax platform is a deliberate move to deviate from the formula that has characterized the Harley brand for well over a century. It is still a V-twin, but it offers a completely different experience. In many ways this is a good thing, but the lack of sound is a letdown. Gone is that classic Harley roar, and in its place is a more clinical mechanical sound. It was acceptable in the Pan America, but I feel as though the Sportster S should have a bigger bark. That's just me being picky though. What's not me being picky however is my gripe with the rear shock. Firstly, it is adjustable, but I opted not to fiddle with it. So it's possible a few clicks here and there could make a difference. But in stock trim the shock was extremely harsh. If the Sportster S is let down in any way by its rear shock ride positon and hot exhaust, it certainly makes up for it in the tech department. Where many past and present Harley models have been devoid of any electronic wizardry, the Sportster S features a wide array of gadgets. The round-color TFT display looks great and maintains a classic look while still displaying loads of information. Throw in multiple ride modes, cruise control, heated grips, smartphone connectivity, cornering ABS and traction control, and front and rear wheel lift mitigation, and it's hard to fault the package. In particular, I was impressed with the ride modes and their adjustability. The standard ride modes, Rain, Road and Sport, are great on their own, but the two custom modes offer specific adjustment of individual settings. When full throttle response is unlocked, prepare for a maniacal fun ride. These are matched with a host of tasty ancillaries as well. Key highlights here being the all-LED lighting suite, brimmed 4-inch digital TFT dash display, as well as the host of top-shelf chassis hardware present like the Brembo brakes and adjustable Showa Susie's. More on these in a bit. Whilst legging over into the low 765mm saddle isn't a big deal, the ergonomics is where the opinions start to divide. Depending on your height, reaching forward to grab the bars, as well as grasping the forward foot controls, will be a stretch literally. This is where the need for customization really kicks in, and thankfully, Harley-Davidson have a plethora of kit to customize the Sportster S with, and the only limitation to which lies in one's imagination and bank account limit. Though a stretch, it's not difficult to get to grips with the ergonomics of the Harley-Davidson Sportster S and get going. But it's not a pleasant affair if we were honest, and things doesn't really get better as we got it going. Harley-Davidson deserves some credit for the effort undertaken at brimming the Sportster S with some of the best chassis hardware available, namely those Brembo anchors and adjustable Showa Susie's mentioned earlier. Unfortunately, getting the latter Japanese-made Susie's dialed in to the right setting takes time, a luxury not afforded to us during our test. Nevertheless, both the front and rear can be tweaked, and it's something any prospecting owner will need to figure out over time. In general, though, these Susie's do their job well, soaking up bumps and imperfections without protest. The same can be said with the front brakes, which felt highly responsive whilst also offering a strong bite without needing too long of a lever tug.